A warm welcome to you all to this subject called industrial psychology. This is Dr. Sayeda Ikrama. I'm going to take this subject called industrial psychology for the second year students. To start with, why this subject? See, industrial psychology is a subject to prepare the engineers for the untoward job scenario in which you have to work in future. It is all about how your psychological behavior have to be built so that you sustain in the industrial world. When you start working after passing out as engineers, there are many things, many challenges which you might face in this unprecedented times. So, industrial psychology is a subject which helps you build that balance, the psychological balance in your mind, so that you can cope up with the challenges for the engineers. Okay, so to start with, what is the objectives of this course? This course is basically built to make the engineering students know industry structures and functions. It also develops an awareness of the major perspectives underlining the field of industrial psychology. It makes an engineer understand for the potential industrial psychology challenges that is there for the society and the organizations at present as well as in the future. So it is basically a subject which is preparing you for the future when you take up the jobs, or if you are entrepreneur oriented, then definitely it will help you to build your own organization. Course outcomes. So once a student, engineering student, completes this course, the outcomes that could be achieved through this course are: it makes an engineer understands the key concepts, theoretical perspectives, and trends in industrial psychology. That is the basic key underlying terms and concepts and theories and the way the industrial psychology theory is trending. It also evaluates the problems, makes the engineers understand the issues through a systematic competency model. It also analyzes the problems present in the environment and design a job analysis method. It creates a better work environment for better performance. It also designs a performance appraisal process and form for the human behavior. Industrial psychology course outcomes are these. So hence, when a student starts this course, he will be achieving all these outcomes. And these outcomes are not necessarily theoretical oriented. These are something which are psychological oriented, which molds the behavior of a student and orients the behavior of the students towards a professionally organized engineer. So this is how the subject is built upon. So let us start the subject. So in unit 1, you are going to learn two important parts of the subject. The first part is all about industrial engineering, the meaning, definition, objectives, need, scope, developments, theories, concepts, historical development, and what are the main departments of the industry. Then in the second part, we are going to learn the organization structure of an organization, how the structure of the organization is formed, what are the various types, on what principles the structure of the organization is built, and also the organizational theories, the management theories, theories like Henry Fayol's theories, authoritarian theory, scientific theory. So these are various theories which we are going to learn in the second part. And as well as you are going to learn departmentalization, authority, power, organizational effectiveness, how to achieve organizational effectiveness, how to structure an organization, how to manage organization change, and what is the need for organization charts. So this is what we are going to learn in unit 1. So it's a very interesting subject where it is not just about theory that you are going to understand, but you are going to understand how an industry works, from where this engineering came into existence. It is through industries, it is through factories. So there actually you got to know the various concepts and terms. So let us start with the first term called industrial psychology. What is industrial psychology? As you all know, it's a combination of two words, industry and psychology. Once when industry comes, the word industry comes to your mind, the thing which strikes your mind is a factory setup. Yeah, of course. Or it could be something like a setup where something manufacturing is going. Okay, so industry is basically derived from a Latin word called industria, which means diligent activity directed to some purpose. Industry is a sector. It is a type of economic activity involved in the manufacturing of raw materials into goods and products. It is nothing but raw materials are being processed into finished products. That is what industry is all about. Now, coming to the word psychology. Okay, psychology, when you hear or listen to the term called psychology, it's a scientific discipline that studies the mental processes and behavior in human beings and animals. The literal meaning of psychology is it is the study of mind, the various issues related to the mind, from learning to cognition to intelligence to motivation to emotion, perception, personality, and many more like these emotions are studied in this basic field called psychology. There are various ways to study these emotions. It could be interviews, through observation, through psychological testing, laboratory experimentation, and statistical analysis. But on the whole, psychology is nothing but a scientific study of mental processes, mental experiences, and the mental behavior an individual exhibits in a relevant environment. So, these two terms are very much important to understand in order to go ahead to understand the definition of industrial psychology. So far, I think it is clear what is an industry and what is a psychology. Industry is nothing but it's an economic activity where manufacturing happens. Whereas psychology is nothing but it is the study of mental processes. It is study of mind. It is a study of emotions through a particular method. Going forward, what is industrial psychology? There are various definitions given by famous people on industrial psychology, the foremost being by Blum and Naylor. According to him, industrial psychology is simply the application of or extension of psychological facts and principles to the problems concerning human beings operating within the context of business and industry. So it is nothing but an application or extension of psychological facts and principles to the problems concerning human beings operating within the context of business and industry. So the gist of this particular industrial psychology subject is that you are applying the psychological facts and principles to the problems that happen in an industrial setup or an industry or a business setup. How to face the problems or issues related to your mind or mental processes in a business context. Okay, this is what Blum and Naylor wants to say. The next definition was given by Thomas W. Harrell. He says that industrial psychology is the study of people at work in industry and in business. It is a study of their aptitudes and their qualifications for jobs. So, it is nothing but it is a study of people at work, especially in an industrial setup. It is the study of the aptitudes and their qualification, what kind of behavior they are exhibiting and what qualities they possess to do that particular job. This is what Thomas H. Harrell says. Now, as you all know, industrial, which simply pertains to activities related to manufacturing or trade or business. The word psychology denotes the science of nature, functions, and phenomena of the mind or mental activities or processes. So, industrial psychology applies the principles of psychology to understand the problems of working man in a business and industrial setup. So, to term it together, we can say that industrial psychologist studies the personalities and behavior of the workers of the organizations, since the two terms have great impact on the overall well-being of its members of the organization itself. So, industrial psychology is basically the study of mental processes in an industrial setup. Sorry, it is the mental study of mental processes of people in an industrial or business setup. This is what industrial psychology is all about. Going forward, let us now understand the features or what nature does industrial psychology subject possess. The nature of industrial psychology states that it includes the practices and principles of training in the skills and attitudes for industrial or institutional work. What are the practices? What are the standard practices and procedures applied to do a particular work? What are the principles of training the human beings to do that work? Okay, so first it studies the practices, the best practices. For example, there is a process in a factory going on where an iron is molded into something, some finished product. Okay, raw material is iron, and through that iron they are making a chair, for example. So what is the best practice of doing it? That is to be studied. And what are the principles, that is the laws or rules to be applied to make that raw material into a finished product that is expected. Okay, so this is the nature of industrial psychology. So I'm giving you a hardcore example, but then in practice, when you see, there are few standard practices and procedures and principles and laws on which the uh, people are trained so that they get the acquired skills and the right kind of attitude so that they could do that industrial task or work. The second nature or the feature of industrial psychology is it discovers information related to human behavior and also concerned with the application of information about human behavior to the various problems of the human life. Okay, so initially you might not be knowing what is the cause of a problem, of an industrial problem. There could be sometimes strikes. There could be instances where the employees or laborers in an industry are not satisfied with the working conditions. So there are many issues which hover in an industrial setup or a factory. So this particular subject discovers the information related to human behavior and applies the same information to solve the problems. Okay, so you will get to know what exactly is the problem to the various information, to the various methods, and then you try to apply the various ways in which the situation or the problem or the issue can be solved. Okay, the third thing is it is concerned with the topics such as leadership, motivation, group dynamics, communication, organizational, and this its effectiveness. All these terms, whatever just now I said, are very crucial to an employee to grow in an organization. Okay, so an employee or a human being, when he doesn't grow, then it means that he doesn't exist. Okay, for your existence you have to grow. So therefore, leadership, motivation, group dynamics, communication, organizational design, all these are words or concepts which are being studied, or which are part and parcel of this subject called industrial psychology. This subject concerned about leadership, how an employee or an engineer can become a leader, how can he motivate himself, how can he motivate his employees, how can he motivate the organization, how can he work in a group, as a group member, as a group leader, how can he make groups and make them work, that is also important, how can he communicate clearly, formally, without disrespecting, without causing any issues or problems, how to formally communicate, how to do written communication. So all these things are also studied in industrial psychology. And last but not the least, organizational design. It is nothing but the way the roles and responsibilities flows in an organization. So an employee should know how the duties and responsibilities and roles and qualifications flow in an organizational setup. So these are the various topics, and the effectiveness of these topics is concerned in this subject. Then the next one is nature. Sorry, the next one is, it also recognize the that psychologists develops training programs especially for technical employees in order to bring about the desired level of skill, including quantity and quality of output and of safety. So here an industrial psychologist will help by developing training programs and training the employees to achieve the required level of output in terms of quality and in terms of quantity. For example, as a fresher, a BE mechanical fresher fresher joins a company, say for example Larsen and Tobro, L&T, and he doesn't know what kind of work he has to do. So a training program will be organized for these type of people who doesn't know how to do the work and what type of work is expected of them. Okay, so then this trainer will mold them, will develop them in a way so that they can each easily have that attitude, zeal and the skills to give back to the organization what is required. Okay, so here the quality and quantity of the output is being assessed. Okay, last one is, it involves the relations of individuals to individuals and of individuals to groups, the workstations. Okay, so this subject helps in developing or maintaining the relationships between people, that is among people, among from one individual to another individual, from one individual to groups, and in groups also. So these are the various features, or we can say nature, of industrial psychology. Going forward, industrial psychology, it's a branch of engineering that concerns the development, improvement, implementation and evaluation of integrated systems of people, knowledge, equipment, material and processes. It is also as known as operations management, production engineering, manufacturing engineering, depending on the viewpoint. There are many things which distinguish the industrial engineering from virtually all engineering companies. So now let us go to the objectives. The next concept which we are going to go ahead with is aims and objectives of industrial psychology. What is the objective of industrial psychology concept? The first one is to apply psychological concepts and methods to optimize human potential in the workshop. there's a saying that engineers are made in laboratories or and workshops. So in this sense we can understand that engineering is a subject where it is learned in the labs. It is not learned in a four-walled classroom. So, the psychological aspects, the behavioral aspects that happen, that occur in an organization or in a workshop or in an industry is studied through industrial psychology. We can easily apply the best methods, optimal methods, so that the required output is achieved, the required human potential is achieved. Okay, so the subject actually helps to apply psychological concepts like motivation, like leadership, uh, then team leadership, or team membership, or team dynamics or group dynamics in a workshop or in an industrial setup. It improves the productivity of the industry. The basic objective for an organization to get established is to achieve two core objectives. One is to achieve the desired profits, and the other is to sustain for the long run. So, industrial psychology helps in understanding the underlying concepts so that the optimal output or productivity is achieved. It and it whether, for example, there is an industrial setup or a manufacturing unit where 10,000 units are manufactured every week. So now this particular manufacturing unit got an additional order of 20,000 units in a week. So how can this manufacturing unit achieve? So under these circumstances, either they have to increase the number of employees. If they cannot increase the number of employees, through the same number of employees, they have to work out a plan so that the productivity should reach from 10,000 to 20,000 units. So you should motivate the employees to work maybe in two shifts or somewhat like that so that the productivity is achieved. So therefore, motivation is a concept which is a basic concept in industrial psychology, and it helps in the productivity of the industry. It also helps in focusing on mental health and morale of employees. Okay. When mind works, or when the mind of an individual is satisfied or is at peace, he can do any type of work. So here the focus of industrial psychology is on mental health. When mentally that person is at peace, where he can do the work, okay, he has that kind of satisfaction or harmony between his body and his mind, then definitely the morale or the motivational levels of the employees stay strong. Okay, the next objective of the sub of industrial psychology is to remove the risks of health and decrease the rate of accidents. In the history, or in the history of industries, or when you see the economy, there are many incidents which happened, okay, unfortunately, where thousands of lives of human beings got wasted because of certain industrial accidents. You can take the example of the incident that happened in Chernobyl, the incident like the Bhopal gas tragedy. All these are nothing but accidents, okay, where the industrial setup was such that they were not taking precautionary measures. The areas where accidents occurs are risk prone. So under that circumstances, industrial psychology helps to remove the risk to health. If a manufacturing unit is there where there is health issues which might come up later, so definitely the industrial setup should follow the standard rules and practices according to the standard organizations and adhere to them so that it decreases the rate of accidents. Okay, so industrial psychology helps in removing that type of risks of health and also in turn decreases the rate of accidents. Industrial psychology helps inspire high morale and enthusiasm at work. Physical work, mental work, or any type of work, it requires a kind of enthusiasm, a kind of zeal, a vigor that when you achieve this, when you do this work, you are going to achieve this. So, through industrial psychology, that momentum is built. That kind of morale, that kind of motivation is given so that the employees get inspired and reach up to the expectations of the management. Industrial psychology also helps in improving the working conditions. No doubt, the management of an organization is concerned with the productivity. When productivity is high, then definitely the profits will be more, or maybe the revenues might be more, right? But then the working conditions endure an employee to work in the certain in the certain industrial environment. If you have been to any industrial setup, you might have seen the working conditions. Okay, for example, if you go to an ice cream manufacturing facility, right? For example, Muscati or something like that, Jersey or anything. So when you go there, you can see that the the working conditions are quite different. The temperatures are extreme. There are rooms which are having negative degree Celsius temperatures. And when you go to manufacturing units where glass is made, when steel items are made, where iron items are made, the temperatures are very extreme again there. It could reach plus 50 degrees Celsius. So you can understand the working conditions. So based on the working conditions, the employee works. So industrial psychology helps in uh, making the working conditions. So in these extreme temperatures, for what the examples that I have given, in these extreme conditions or extreme temperatures, there are certain rules that have to be followed. Maybe a kind of a kind of protective equipment should be given to the employees, or some benefit should be given when you work in that kind of conditions, extreme conditions. So these are some things which actually makes the employee to work or helps an employee to work in those extreme conditions. And when you give those kind of facilities to the employees, definitely they'll reach the productivity, they'll make efforts to reach the productivity or output. The next objective is to develop good relations between employee and employers. Relationship is very, very important in an organizational setup or an industrial setup. It is not that always there will be best relations between employee and employers, but they should be always on amicable terms, that is, good terms. So, industrial psychology helps develop that kind of relationship between an employee and the employer or the management, we can say. So, industrial psychology helps build the relationship between an employee and the employer. Next is it increases the efficiency of people at work. When you are motivated, when you are led, when you are given enough good working conditions, when your mental health is taken care of, when you are motivated, when your morale is at high level, definitely you perform better. And when you perform better, you become efficient and the organization will not leave you. Okay. And the next objective is to maximize the causes of conflict, disharmony, and lack of understanding. Definitely, where there are people, there are problems. Wherever there are people, there are problems. And there is no problem that cannot be solved. Every problem can be solved. Okay, so industrial psychology is a concept or is a study where the problems, the causes of problems, the causes can be curtailed, can be controlled. Okay, problems could be in terms of industrial conflicts, it could be interpersonal conflict, it could be disharmony, it could be a lack of understanding, lack of communication, lack of presentation, or anything that could be more also. So all these things can be reduced when you study industrial psychology. It continuously increases the level of job satisfaction. An employee doesn't work just for money, he works for various other factors. An employee works for his own job satisfaction. If he's getting enough money but he's not satisfied with the work, what he's doing, and if he's not satisfied by the job or the boss or the type of work he's doing, maybe he's not growing professionally, so he will start reducing his productivity. He will give less to the less importance or less focus or less concentration on the job if he's not satisfied. So industrial psychology usually, and it helps in increasing the level of job satisfaction. It also determines an adequate salary or to suggest scientific principles on the basis of which an adequate salary can be determined. It is nothing but compensation management or salary management. When an employee works, as I said you, he doesn't work only for salary, but salary administration is also very crucial. What type of salary to be given? What amount to be given? What are the trends of salary for the same job in the industry? What are wages? When can an employee or the worker or a labor should be given bonus? What is that extra bonus? How to calculate bonus? When can an employee be given promotion? When can an employee be given demotion? Okay, so it is all about nothing but compensation management. How can we compensate the efforts made by the employee into the organization is studied in compensation management, and it is an important part of industrial psychology. So therefore, salary can be ascertained for an employee, and any kind of principle can be used to ascertain the salary of an employee through compensation management, which is a part of industrial psychology. The last one is to retain employees and maintain a good work ethic through scientific and vocational test. Employee retention is also a goal the industry strives to achieve. Retaining good employees or efficient employees is very important. According to a study, it was observed that when a new employee joins an organization, it takes almost 6 months for that employee to work and give productivity at the required level. So, when an employee wants to leave the organization, it is better to retain him or her rather than leaving or allowing him to leave. So this entails a kind of team to be built that is trustworthy, and that also helps in maintaining a good professional team. So retaining efficient employees is very very important, and also you should also maintain a good work ethic work ethics or certain guidelines which are very very important, that has to be followed, which are proven scientific and vocational tests. So these are the various aims and objectives of industrial psychology. So therefore, the aim of industrial psychology is not primarily to obtain greater output, but to give the worker greater ease at work. It is to help the worker to produce the maximum with minimum cost, minimum effort, and maximum comfort. Now let us go ahead with the next subtopic. It is importance of industrial psychology. There's a famous saying or a quote which says that it is easier to bend a metal than bending a man, which means that metal can be bended easily, but a man cannot. Human beings cannot be changed. We cannot change the behavior of a human being. Whereas the same kind of, if you use a metal or something which is, I mean, like a metal or steel or iron, something like that, when you bend, you can bend. When you try to bend, you can bend. But human beings cannot be bent. Their behavior cannot be changed. So, industrial psychology is very much important for engineers to understand. Machines do not work for themselves. It is human who make them work. Therefore, getting best productivity at workplace cannot be ensured without understanding the psychological aspects of work, workers, and workplace. So productivity can be achieved just not by knowing the theoretical or formulae or something best models, but you should understand the psychological behavior, the psychological aspects in a work environment, and then only you can work efficiently. So there is a need for industrial psychology, as it realizes that human beings occupy a central place in all sorts of industrial activities. To run efficiently in an industry, to run effectively, smoothly, without any hassles, the the human factors or the psychological factors in an industrial setup should be focused on. Therefore, there are few areas that says that there is an importance for this subject called industrial psychology. The first one is understanding human relationships. Second one, human engineering. Third, recruitment, selection, placement. Fourth, development and training of personnel. Fifth, accident prevention. Sixth, promotional schemes and wages and salary administration. And the last one is motivation, attitude, and morale. Industrial psychology is a very very important concept, and the importance or significance can be studied through these various points. The first one is understanding human relations. Human relations as to human relations between the employee and the employer. By understanding human relations in industrial organization, it is possible to develop the concepts and techniques of supervision, leadership, motivation, group behavior, and group dynamics. So these concepts or emotions like perception, communication, cognition, motivation helps understand human relations better, and when human relations are better, then they perform better. If people perform better, definitely organizations start performing better, and ultimately they lead to productivity. The second importance is, or the principle of importance is, human engineering. So we have studied various types of engineering, but what is human engineering? Human engineering is the study of man in his work environment, his work methods, the machine design, the design of the equipment, the design of his tools, and the effect of work environment conditions on his efficiency. Simple example I'll give you. The way you write an assignment, if I give you some kind of assignment, you write in some way. So when you compare it with your friend, he writes in a different way. When you compare it with the best student in your class, the way he writes his assignment will be different. So human engineering is nothing but studying the best methods of work and applying them. So through industrial psychology, you are going to study human engineering, which helps in studying the best and efficient and optimum work methods. And also, it helps in designing the machines. See, machines are not just for one process, there are many processes attached. So, to get the best possible outcome, the various processes have to be in line, right? So human engineering studies the machine design, the design of the equipment, and also the environmental conditions. The third one is recruitment, selection, and placement. The requirements of the job is first to be ascertained, the abilities of the prosperous employees. This considerably reduces the cost of hiring, supervision, and ultimately production. Right kind of people are to be hired, right number of people are to be hired, right quality of people are to be hired and placed at right place, right job. An engineer who is good at drawing is placed in some role where his skills are not recognized or not being given any task based on his skills. So that is waste of his resources or his skills. So the recruitment means it is nothing but attracting the potential employees, potential candidates, and taking the right number of people of right type at right time and at right place. Okay, then the fourth one is development and training of personnel. Provides knowledge of individual behavior and individual differences. The techniques and principles of industrial psychology can be applied to train both workers as well as supervisors so that the problems of supervision do not get affected, like delegation, communication, motivation, leadership. In all these concepts, training has to be given. A technical person may be very good in the technical knowledge, but in the psychological aspects, he might be very poor. So, there are many training programs which are aimed at training the technical or engineering oriented people to how to develop them mentally into the direction which they want to go. For example, an engineer, when he joins an organization, maybe after 5 years or 10 years, he should take a leadership role. So for him, if he is working well, if he is giving the required output or more than the required output, then the organization spends a lot of amount on training like leadership training, motivational training, or something like anything which helps him become a better individual, better holding a better position in the organization. This industrial psychology is important for accident prevention. There are various surveys concluded that majority of the industrial accidents were preventable. When you are revenge, as it is very famous saying that prevention is better than cure. So preventive rules are to be carefully drafted in organizational setups. Personal factors such as fatigue, boredom, monotony plays a very important role in accident prevention. Industrial psychology can not only help in identifying accident proof people but can also help in finding solutions to prevent accidents in industrial organizations. So it helps in maintaining a kind of organizational setup where accidents can be prevented. Promotional schemes and wages and salary administration. Management takes decisions to promote, demote, transfer, or discharge personnel or people employed in an organization. So their abilities, their performance, their seniority, their experience, their skills, their qualifications are to be assessed. There are various methods of appraisal: on the job appraisal, off the job appraisal. There are also various methods of job evaluation. How to ascertain how much salaries to be given is understood in a job evaluation method. And also, the worth of the job and the worth of the individual is identified. And finally, the salaries or wages to be given to the employees can be ascertained. Last but not the least is motivation, attitude, and morale. Industrial psychology identifies the needs, drives that makes an individual or an employee to behave in a particular manner. That kind of behavior can be studied, can be improved, and can be a criteria to monetarily reward him or her. Reward him in the sense that the salary can be given to him based on his motivation, his attitude, his morale. Thus, an industrial psychology subject actually helps in industrial management. So, therefore, we can say that it is clear that industrial psychology is very important for the purpose of improving the management styles to yield maximum benefits. So, with this, we conclude today's class on the concepts which we have studied today. We have just gone through the basic concepts which are very, very important to understand the subject industrial psychology. So what we have done is, first we have seen the underlying concepts in the first unit, and we studied the meaning, definition, objective, and need for in the importance of industrial psychology. This is the definition of industrial psychology given by various famous people behind the concept. And then we studied what is the nature, what are the features of industrial psychology, and what do you achieve from industrial psychology, what are the objectives, what are the aims, motives behind studying industrial psychology. And finally, we understood what is the importance of industrial psychology. Why are we studying industrial psychology? What is the significance? Where this industrial psychology where will it lead an engineer? So therefore, with this I conclude this first session on industrial psychology, and in the next class we are going to learn the various applications of industrial psychology, and then we are going to learn industrial engineering. Okay, thank you. are the objectives of industrial psychology.